Welcome to this video on Huperzine A. We will look at what this supplement is, how it works, and the important considerations for using it responsibly. Huperzine A is a naturally derived compound extracted from Huperzia serrata, a type of club moss. Unlike many other herbal products, it is a single, well-characterized molecule. People often turn to Huperzine A for perceived memory support and cognitive clarity. It is also frequently found as a component in various complex nootropic stacks. Because it is often sold in multi-ingredient products, Huperzine A is rarely taken in isolation. You'll often find it alongside ingredients like Bacopa monnieri, L-theanine, omega-3s, and caffeine. The claimed mechanism of action is that Huperzine A inhibits the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. By doing so, it is theorized to raise levels of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter linked to learning and memory. While purification provides a more defined molecule than crude extracts, it is vital to remember that purification does not automatically equate to safety or proven efficacy. A major problem with multi-ingredient products is the stack effect. If you experience an effect, whether positive or negative, it becomes nearly impossible to identify which ingredient is responsible. Clinical research focuses on measuring cognitive outcomes, tracking safety signals such as adverse events, and evaluating the potential risk of interactions with other medications. In terms of evidence, the reality is that the claims for Huperzine A often outpace the available large-scale trials. Current evidence relies heavily on smaller studies and animal models. Small studies may show promise, but promising is not the same as proven. Without large, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials, we lack the data to guide long-term or safe dosing. It is important not to confuse traditional use with modern safety standards. Traditional context does not substitute for the rigorous safety and efficacy data required for modern medical use. The murkiness of attribution in multi-ingredient supplements makes safety reporting much less precise than it is for pharmaceuticals, leaving gaps in our understanding of potential harms. In the United States, dietary supplements do not require pre-market approval from the FDA. This means enforcement is often reactive rather than proactive, and purity is not always guaranteed. When choosing supplements, be aware of multi-ingredient confusion, the risks of stacking, and the attribution gap that makes linking ingredients to specific health outcomes difficult. Finally, always maintain an interaction risk mindset. Herbal compounds can interact with prescription drugs, especially those affecting the nervous system. Consult a professional before starting any new regimen. Product variability is a major safety concern. 2 bottles of the same supplement from different brands may contain significantly different amounts of the active compound due to inconsistencies in manufacturing, extraction, and standardization. Side effects can be nonspecific, ranging from gastrointestinal issues like nausea and stomach cramping to neurological signals such as dizziness, headache, or restlessness. Treat these as informative data, not just minor inconveniences to ignore. Before you start, pause to consult a clinician if you are using anticoagulants, antiplatelets, neurological or psychiatric medications, or if you manage complex, multi-system health conditions. A responsible approach requires a practical plan. Choose single-ingredient products. Read labels with scientific precision. Assess your personal risk factors, and always start with the lowest possible dose while monitoring your results. When reading labels, look for the exact amount in micrograms per serving, all listed co-ingredients, and verified third-party testing seals. Proprietary blends are a red flag that can hide actual doses. Assess your own risk factors first. Specifically, check with a doctor if you take cardiovascular medications, have hormone-sensitive conditions, or are already using other neurological or cholinergic treatments. There's limited evidence regarding the optimal timing or duration for using this supplement. A sensible default is to use the lowest labeled dose for a brief, defined trial period rather than an indefinite daily habit. Set realistic expectations. Any benefits are likely to be subtle and incremental. Be wary of overinterpreting your personal experience, as confirmation bias and placebo effects can be very powerful. Huperzine A is not a general wellness herb. It is a cognitively targeted compound that modulates acetylcholine signaling, which is central to learning and memory. It is important to understand what biological systems you are influencing.
Simply put, it acts as a reversible acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. While this can support memory in some cases, it can also backfire by pushing the system too far, leading to unwanted side effects. Watch for systemic red flags like severe muscle weakness, confusion, profuse sweating, or significant vomiting. These are signs of cholinergic excess and require you to stop immediately and seek medical evaluation. Never stack supplements blindly. Combining Huperzine A with other cholinesterase inhibitors, certain neurological medications, or complex multi-ingredient blends can introduce significant and unpredictable interaction risks. Be aware that dosage drift is common across different brands. Without third-party testing for purity and potency, you cannot be certain about what you are actually ingesting. To experiment responsibly, start low. Log both your cognitive focus and any physical side effects daily. Stop immediately if symptoms escalate, and only consider continuing if you see a clear, positive signal. Ultimately, treat this supplement as a short-term, monitored tool for a specific goal rather than a permanent lifestyle habit. A successful trial requires verified products and a clear, objective assessment of the results. This program was brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team as part of the Health and Wellness series.